What's going on, everyone? TallenV back here, and today I wanted to do a little bit of a different video. And first, I have to give shout outs here to a follower over on my stream. Actually, he gave me the idea for this video. Red Zone, as I simply call him over on Twitch. He was asking me a question. We were all talking about Golden Week while we were playing some Smash Brothers and just some other games, and he's just like, hey, for Dokkan, if given the option, which 3 cards would you like revamped in regards to super attack, leader skills, and passive, besides, you know, LRs and EZAs and all that stuff? And I said, you know what, I don't know, I'm gonna need to think about that. I'm gonna make a video about that, actually. And so here we are, we're gonna make a video about it today, folks. So I have decided, I did bump it up one more. I have my top 3, but 2 cards have kind of like tied in terms of who I think need an update, especially. And so I kind of wanted to talk about exactly what I would do per each of these cards. In no particular real order, I would say. I guess they just are what they are. Now, I decided to stay away from the obvious EZAs because we're gonna be getting those for, you know, the 70% leads, the demigods, and all that kind of fun stuff. And who knows, maybe eventually these cards could get a potential EZA. But I don't see it happening. It could for one of them potentially, but for the others, probably not gonna happen. But hey, you never know, so you know, we can always keep our fingers crossed. But I'm gonna stick away from the super attacks because that can kind of be all over the place. I personally have no idea what I would do for these particular 4 units. In terms of what you'd want to do for a super attack that haven't been done already, so I'm just gonna stay away from that. But in terms of like a leader skill, a passive, maybe some links if they need to be changed or anything like that, we'll have to see how it's gonna go. But either way, let's get into the video itself. Okay, so starting off at number, I guess, 3 technically. So my number 3 pick is going to be this Vegeta, the trustworthy rival into Vegeta. Hoo-wee, this is an old card. So as you guys can currently see on Dokkan Wiki, current leader skill is Int and physical types key +3, stats up 30%. Super attack causes supreme damage and raises attack for 3 turns. And passive skill, attack plus 20% per Int key orb obtained. Recover HP with candy. He's got the usual links you'd expect there, like fierce battle, prepare for battle, all that fun stuff. And that's pretty much it, okay? So, obviously a really old card, right? But I have had this guy since quite a long time. I remember when he Dokkan Awakened, and I was like, yay, you Dokkan Awakened. I'm not going to do anything with you now. So, yeah, he's a bit of a weird situation because when you initially look at him, you're thinking, 20% per Int key orb isn't really that bad. If you pair him up with an orb changer, or if you have an orb changing item with you, you can potentially do some pretty good damage, right? But let's be honest, not many people run him, especially in this day and age where Super Int is extremely stacked, extremely powerful and everything. No one really uses it. So what would I mean, overall, I actually like this iteration of Vegeta because it's from the time where he and Goku fight Kid Buu. It's kind of where Vegeta has kind of officially resurrected, and he has accepted his fate, or not his fate really, but he's accepted who he is. He's accepted his new life and everything. It's a huge character development. So I like the time that this art comes from and everything. So I want this card to be good. So what would I personally change in this card? Well, first off, obviously the leader skill, right? You can clearly tell from the time that this leader skill is way old, right? It's way back in the days. I mean, I believe his original Int card, the SSR that you get, that's even worse. So I mean, it is what it is. But anyway, in terms of the leader skill, I actually don't mind keeping it something like Int and physical type. I don't mind that at all. That allows for more diversity in a team. And I feel like some of us, we have kind of wanted that when we started getting the 70s and the 100% and the 120% leaders before we got categories, which kind of took it away from it. But nonetheless, it's still be cool where you could have a leader skill with 2 types that give a really good boost. Nothing like, you know, oh, we're going to give you 100% for one type and like 20% for this type. So, we don't really want that. So with the Int and the physical, I'm actually okay with keeping that, but make it, you know, keep +3. I'm all for that, obviously. And then make it an 80% boost. Make it an 80% boost. 80% is a really good boost in today's little meta of the game right now. That's what I would personally say in that terms, okay? So right there, Int and physical types, key +3, stats up 80%. I'm perfectly okay with that, okay? Next, super attack. Causes supreme damage and raises attack for 3 turns. I actually honestly wouldn't change anything about this. I really wouldn't. Raises attack for 3 turns is still pretty good. If you wanted to, I could also say attack and defense for 3 turns. If we wanted to do something like that, make him give himself a little bit more of a defensive capabilities there. I think that could be pretty cool. So, but other than that though, I think in terms of what the super attack does, is perfectly fine the way it is. I honestly don't see a problem with it. His passive though, oh boy, we need to be changing up that passive just a little bit. First off, take out recovery HP with candy. We have not used the candy stuff except for the Kid Buu Dokkan Fest. And let's be honest, no one in this day and age really cares about that ability. Yeah, way back when Physical Kid Buu originally came out and he had his Dokkan Awaken, you might have used a character like this to regain some kind of HP, but that was before we even had, you know, that was right when we were around getting the +3 key and 3000 attack. Now in the day and age of percents and categories and everything, this is absolutely useless. So A, get rid of that. Just get rid of it. It needs to get out of here, okay? Attack plus 20% per int key sphere obtained. Okay, so I will keep him in his nuking passive ability, okay? But first off, I'm going to say instead of int key, okay, I'm going to say any key, and I'm going to make it attack plus 15%, okay? And I'm going to say if for every rainbow orb obtained, or maybe even every int orb, I'm not sure which one exactly. I'm either going to say int or rainbow, whichever one I want to pick here in a second here. That will give you attack plus 20%, okay? And if you happen to get one of those as well, that's also going to be, say, let's say a 5% defense increase, because we all need defense in this day and age. Yes, attack is still the most important thing when it comes to Dokkan, but we do need some defenses for those particular stages. Super Battle Run, looking at you. Anyway, so I think that would be really cool. And then finally, I guess technically above the attack and defense, depending on what orb you attain, I would make it so that you turn a random orb at some time in the battle. So very similar to like the free-to-play LR Kid Goku and Arale, where they turn one random type into a rainbow orb. With the Vegeta here, depending if I picked int or rainbow, I would say either take one random type on the field when he appears in battle, and he will change it either into rainbow or into int. I'm kind of leaning more towards rainbow, just simply because, again, that then allows for better key and orb positioning on the board for your next turn and your next turn after that and everything, whereas int, maybe not so much, but hey, it is what it is. So that's the first thing I would say. I would say any key sphere orb obtained, attack up 15%, and then if I'm going to go with the rainbow or the int one, whenever you collect one of those, it's attack up 20% and defense up 5%. That's what I would personally do. Get rid of that candy thing right there, and if you even want to, just a little bit, just to kind of throw it on there, give him attack and defense up 40%. Not too much to ask for right there because it's such an old card. Attack and defense up 40%, and then have that little nuking passive right there. So that's what I would personally change with him. In terms of links and everything, his links are actually pretty fine. Prepare for battle, fierce battle, he's got all that good stuff. I'm all for it. So this is how I would personally change his Vegeta, and probably that same Spirit Bomb Goku in the same way, just a little bit. I don't know, I can't remember exactly what he does. I think it's pretty much the same, except he might raise his defense for 3 turns. I don't particularly remember, but nonetheless, I guess, and going back to the original question that I got asked on stream in terms of the super attack, I guess Big Bang's fine. If I had to, I would probably do it something more closer to what the new physical transformation Vegeta gets with the Super Saiyan 2, where he kind of punches you away, he charges after you, and he's got the ball of energy like this, and he throws at him. That is so close to what he did against Kid Buu, where he threw the energy ball at him, and you see half of Buu's body go away, and then he starts blasting him like that. So I would have that for a super attack, I guess. But other than that, that's pretty much it. So yeah, if that would happen with Vegeta, I would use him no problem. He would be awesome. He'd be amazing. And I could run him on a Pure Saiyan category team because most of those Vegetas are Super Saiyan or Super Saiyan Blue. He's base. I'm okay with it. I'm all good. So anyways, that'd be the first one, okay? So that's number 3. Number 2. Let's get into number 2. Number 2 is AGL Super Saiyan Gotenks. Oh boy, this boy needs some changing. He's very similar to the Vegeta in the aspect of him being a nuker. I feel like it's a lot of the nuker types, isn't it? So anyway, so let's go over quickly what he does and then what I would personally change, okay? So leader skill, as of right now, all types key +3, stats up 30%. Or sorry, attack and defense up 30%, not even HP. Stats and defense up 30%, okay? Causes supreme damage to the enemy and lowers defense. Oh, you guys know I'm gonna have a ball with this one. And passive skill, attack up 15% per key sphere obtained. His links are pretty fine. Prepare for battle, fuse warrior, you know, all that kind of stuff. So, okay. let's break this bad boy down. Okay, so leader skill. Obviously, all types, key +3, I'm all K for. We need more rainbow leaders, right? Every now and then, it's not bad to have a rainbow leader. I would say make it 70 or 80%. Again, 70 or 80%. Probably more towards the 80%. Anything below that is pretty much useless. No one's going to ever use them as a leader skill, okay? So if you make it 70 to 80% though, that's still usable in a lot of events these days, and obviously even on Super Battle Road and everything like that. Definitely need him to be in there. Or the more I think about this now, if you want to, let's take it a step further. Let's take key +3, stats up 80%, okay? Or he is also going to be the fusion category leader for 120%, okay? We have 150, we have 170 and all that fun stuff. Why don't we have something like a Kefla to the LR Vegeta? I know she's 150%, but that was, you know, she came back out where Patara wasn't exactly the biggest or anything like that, okay? So with this right now, Fusions definitely needs that. So you know what? Let's make it that. Let's make it Rainbow stats up 80% in key +3, or Fusion category, key +3, and then actually let's put just a little bit more, stats up 130%. Let's go with that, okay? Let's not make him too crazy overpowered or anything like that, but because he is an older card, we're changing him a little bit. Let's make it 120 to 130% for the stats up, okay? Super attack, causes supreme damage and lowers the defense. Oh yeah, let's get this one out of the way. Okay, supreme damage, fine. You're not gonna give him immense damage, I get it. He's not a Dokkan Fest exclusive or anything like that. Lower defense, turn it to lower attack. Boom, you're good to go. Okay, lowering defense is absolute garbage in this game. I don't see how anyone can defend it no matter what. It doesn't work anymore. Critical has officially made this thing useless. Even before Critical was announced into the game, lowering defense only did something for Broly. Everything else lowering defense does absolutely nothing. So make it lowering attack, or actually for once in your life, Akatsuki, make lowering attack actually do something. And then I would be inclined to say, okay, you know what? Keep lower defense. You get a couple of super attacks off, and then boom, he's actually doing something. Until then, get rid of lower defense, make it lower attack. That's all I'm going to say, okay? Moving on to his passive. Attack 15% plus per key sphere obtained. Okay, so we got another kind of nuker ability here. So for this one, I would probably do something along the lines of this. So we know he's the fusion card, right? So I would say, okay, at the beginning of the turn, you get attack and defense up, let's say 40%, okay? And then I would say for every turn that he comes back, because he's Gotenks, he likes to kind of goof off and everything like that, give him an extra 10% attack every time he comes back, okay? And let's say we can max this out to about 80%, okay? Then for every key sphere obtained, I will keep that part. I'm gonna lower it down to about 10% per key sphere, okay? Now, as you guys know, I'm not the biggest fan of the slow grind when it comes to, you know, every turn, then your attack and defense goes up, okay? Especially someone like Goku Black, who starts out at literally nothing, and then he jumps up to there. So that's why I gave him the 40% attack and defense, and then say, okay, look, you know what? He's gonna keep goofing off and everything like that, but he does technically get stronger. So when he comes back around, he'll be up at 50, the round after that, 60, and the round after that, 70. So even if, you know, most events you're finished already by then, you're about at the end of the battle, 70% attack and defense is nothing to laugh about. That really is not. With a little bit of a nuking ability with 10%, I'm okay with that. I personally am. And by the way, I should probably have said this at the very beginning of the video. I don't care if some of these sound overly crazy or anything like that. I'm trying to keep it realistic, but you know, sometimes it's just like, you know what, let's get a little bit of fun with this, right? So I would say 10% attack up per key sphere, 40% attack and defense at the beginning of the battle, and for every turn he returns, he then gets an additional attack and defense up 10% for a total of 80%. That's what I would personally say, okay? So that right there would be really cool. I think he'd definitely be really good. In terms of his super attack, he's got Galactic Donut. I guess it is what it is. He's Super Saiyan Gotenks. All the Super Saiyan Gotenks have that Galactic Donut. I still actually don't mind it. It's not an overused super attack. It really isn't, because again, there's not many Super Saiyan Gotenks in the game. So, I guess if you wanted to, you could throw in the Kamikaze Ghost attack, where maybe you throw the ring at them, they get captured, you spit out a couple of ghosts, you then shoot over and they blow up in his face, and then you shoot him with the beam because he's all like crippled and everything like that. And then you just finish it off like that. That could be really cool. A little bit of a touch here. Still kind of the same super attack, but I think that'd be pretty cool. So yeah, so I'm definitely going to say that with the Gotenks, okay? So that's really cool. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, number one. And I will have a special number one as well, because both of these guys I think deserve way better. Way better. Okay, so Shenron, Extreme Physical. Oh my gosh, this guy's pretty old. He is a very old card, okay? Fizz types, attack and defense up 60%. Okay, absolutely no key or anything like that. Causes supreme damage to the enemy and greatly lowers defense. Oh, we're having another fun greatly lowers defense one. Okay. Attack up 80%, all enemies defense minus 30%. Big bad bosses, GT, Shadow, Links, Fierce Battle, Fear, and Faith. Okay, he's actually got a pretty good Link stick, so I'm not going to touch the Link stick at all. He's actually got pretty good. Okay, now obviously at the time when this guy came out, he was coming out around the time that the STR Omega Shenron came out. And obviously they didn't want to overshadow the STR Omega Shenron, so that's why they had something like lower defense in his passive and everything like that. It is time to change this boy. Okay, so first off, physical types. Obviously you've got to make it key plus 3. So I'm actually going to make him a little bit, I'm going to kind of do what I did him to the AGL Gotenks, okay? Shadow Dragons category, key plus 3, stats up 120%, or physical types, key plus 3, stats up 80%. That's what I'm going to put him at, okay? Right there, we got, we need one more of those Shadow Dragon kind of category leaders, for a lot of people don't have it. We've got that free-to-play Spirit Bomb Goku, but he's only 77%. 120 would be really nice on this guy, considering that category is still pretty small, okay? So let's go with that. All right, super attack, causes supreme damage to the enemy and greatly lowers defense. Oh, greatly lowers defense. Oh, I could rip on you all day. I really could. So, obviously, supreme damage, keep it. It is what it is. Greatly lowers defense. Unless you are absolutely willing to change greatly lowering defense, I'm going to change this one to greatly raise your own defense. Yes, I will even keep the greatly in there. Greatly raise your own defense. The dude needs some defensive capabilities, okay? So, that right there is what I would personally do in terms of a super attack. Passive skill, attack up 80%, defense minus 30% on all enemies. Okay, so with this one right here, we know he's basically just made to be the Omega Shenron best buddy, essentially, okay? So with that in mind, I'm going to keep this. I'm going to keep the 80% attack up, okay? But I'm also going to give him a 60% defense buff. And then obviously with the greatly raising his defense, that can allow him to be an even better partner to Omega. Because if Omega doesn't finish somebody off and this guy gets attacked, then at least he can still hold his own a little bit, okay? So I'm going to do that in terms of the passive skill to start off, okay? So attack up 80%, defense up 60%, okay? All enemies defense lowered by 30%. Again, unless lowering defense actually means something, which it doesn't, then it's pretty much useless. So just throw it into the garbage. We don't even need it anymore, okay? So let's give him a little bit something extra, okay? I'm going to say for the attacked enemy, when you actually attack the enemy, lower attack and defense up by 20%. Now, I know I just kept the defense part in there, but you know what, Akatsuki, they're going to try and randomly keep that stuff in there, even though, let's face it, lowering the defense does nothing. So after he has gotten the attack off on somebody, he's raised his defense, and he's now going to lower their attack by a little bit, let's say 15 to 20%. Dude's actually going to take someone. It's going to be really cool and everything. They're going to like that, okay? And if we wanted to, just for the heck of it, if when said attacked enemy has his attack and defense lowered automatically, I don't know, let's say it gives you a medium chance to stun. I don't know why. He's Shin Shenron. He's, terrifying. He's crazy. He's a dragon, essentially. So why not? Let's do the whole stun thing. I know stunning doesn't work in a lot of the Dokkan Fest battles these days, but hey, why not? It works in Super Battle Road still, so I'm all for it. Why not? Let's go with that. So I know it's just randomly thought off the top of my head, but yeah, I think if Omega Shenron could definitely get something like, or Omega Shenron, if Shin Shenron could get something like that, that would be really cool, okay? Boy needs a bit of an update. He definitely needs an update, so. Anyway, that is definitely my #1 pick, along with this next one who is tied for this spot, Tech Paikon. It's not Paikuhan. Yes, that is technically how you say it in Japanese, but you know what? For like the last 10 years, Dragon Ball Z said Paikon, then they randomly changed it to Paikuhan. It's like, no, you either stick with Paikuhan the entire time or you stick with Paikon the entire time. You told me Paikon when I'm a kid, guess what? He's Paikon, so that's where I deal with it. So, anyway, Tekken, strength types, key +3, stats up 30%, causes supreme damage to the enemy, and greatly lowers the attack. Alright, I'm actually okay with that super attack. Nothing changing from that super attack. Key +3, at the beginning of the turn for his passive, and attack and defense up 7,000, or attack up 7,000, defense up 3,000, and when only facing one enemy. Okay, so I get it. He is mainly only seen in the Other World Tournament and everything like that, so I don't mind keeping the one enemy thing. But I have seen him handle his own against multiple enemies at the same time. So I'm gonna think on that, but let's go on with the leader skill, okay? Tech and strength types. I'll actually keep that part, no problem. Key +3, I'll keep that. Stats up 80%. Has to be 80% at the minimum, okay? That right there is not gonna, that any lower, pointless. There's no point in doing that. Make sure he gets that. Okay. Super attack, like I stated before, causes supreme damage, greatly lowers attack. Perfectly fine with that. I am okay with that. Moving on to the next part. Passive skill. Okay, so looking at his passive, right? He is on a Tech and STR team usually in this regard right here. So He has things like Gentleman, Brainiac, Tough as Nails. Shocking Speed is really his only key link, okay? Now, on STR, you can find some Shocking Speed characters on there, no problem. And Tech, it's mostly over in a flash by now. Some Prepare for Battle and a couple of Shocking Speed. So, with that being said, I'll keep the key +3. He definitely needs it. You know what? Let's put it like this. So, let's say, when facing off against one opponent, key +3, attack and defense up, let's say 100%, okay? And if you're facing 2 or more opponents, attack and defense up 120% and only key +1. Or if we even wanted to, we should say no to any of the key pluses, anything with 2 or more opponents. And then you'll have to just make do with Shocking Speed or do something like that. I don't know. I think that'd be kind of cool. That would definitely be something right there. I love that it greatly lowers attack. That's totally fine. That's always been PyCon's thing, even in the Heroes card and everything like that. But I personally hope he can get something like that. So, Tekken STR, again, real quickly, key +3, stats are up 80% at the very least. Passive skill, when facing one opponent, key +3, stats up, what did I say? I think I might have said 100%, but I'm gonna keep it at 100%. And then when facing 2 or more opponents, attack and defense up, let's say 130% actually. Let's just bump it up just a little bit more, but no plus key. Or if you wanted to, only give him +1 key right there. Just kind of make it a little even, so yeah. But yeah, that's how I would change Tech PyCon. So there we go, guys. Those are going to be my top 3, technically 4, but top 3 right there in terms of 3 cards that I would love to revamp. Leader skill, super attack, passive skill, you name it. Links, surprisingly, were actually kind of fine. I know PyCon's got some weird links and everything like that, but it kind of makes sense for what he is. The others have perfectly fine links, honestly. I wouldn't really change anything about that. But yeah, if I could change those guys, that's how I would change them. So let me hear your thoughts down below in the comments, guys. What cards would you like to change when it comes to Dokkan? Skip the Easy A stuff. I avoided Easy A's. I avoided transformations because you guys know my thoughts and opinions on all that stuff. If you haven't seen those videos, I'll put a link down in the description below, or you'll see at the end of the video, basically. But yeah, I've said all my dues about that. I wanted to take some cards that I personally still have, and I used to use a little bit way back in the day, but I'm like, you know what? Give them an update, and I will definitely do this. So anyway, guys, that's me for the video, though. Let me hear your thoughts down below in the comments. As always, leave a like if you liked the video. Subscribe if you happen to be new. Until next time, everyone, I will see you all in the next one.